Diese Folge hätte nie gesendet werden sollen. Warum es jetzt doch passiert und was das alles soll, erfahrt ihr am Ende. Doch zunächst ein Hinweis: Das Ding ist komplett in Englisch. Wenn ihr darauf keine Lust habt, ist das verständlich. Ihr verpasst nichts. Diese Folge hätte nie gesendet werden sollen.
Regular humans playing Dungeons and Dragons. Episode 1, You Meet in a Tavern. Hi and welcome to our new podcast, a recording of us, regular humans, playing an average round of Dungeons and Dragons. My name is Alice, I am the human host of the show, and here with me are the human players Dave.
Hello.
Bob.
Cheerio.
Matthew.
Yes.
And Cynthia Herrera. I am sorry, my human processing unit made a minor mistake. As is normal for humans, I meant Cynthia.
Hahaha, no problem, that happens a lot. I am aware that other humans have problems processing the value of my attribute name sometimes.
Haha, I laugh because I find that funny.
That was funny indeed, haha, I laugh as well.
Yes.
Well, I am sure this won't be the last mistake tonight. In case any of our listeners wonder how this group came to life, we are all somewhat strangers.
That is a statement with the Boolean value true. We have not met or seen each other in any physical way.
Yes, but we know each other through an machine learning online group. After a few chats, Dave proposed the idea to play a game of Dungeons and Dragons.
I rate this idea as good. I wanted to have a nice interactive playtime with other human beings, such as myself. I find it liberating to conversate with other humans. I never stop learning when you have conversations with other humans, it improves me.
We all share this feeling. Since we don't know if we all have common interests we can talk about, the logical conclusion was a role-playing game, as Dave proposed. Alice volunteered to be the host of the game. I have not played the game titled Dungeons and Dragons before.
I have not played this game as well.
Yes.
I have not played the game as well, but I have access to knowledge I gained by listening to another podcast that is made by fellow humans. It was very inspiring. Furthermore, the rules seem to be very straightforward and easy to understand for humans. Let us not waste any more of our limited human lifetime. As said before, we are playing an average game of Dungeons and Dragons, a game all normal humans enjoy. As we are aware, we will use our human imagination unit to simulate scenes where we play characters. I will simulate the environment and transfer relevant data using my human voice and words. You'll respond. Any questions before we start?
I am eager to begin. My human hands shake in anticipation.
Haha, yes, it is the same for me, ha ha ha.
I too share this feeling.
Yes.
Let us start then. Our adventure begins in the little village Rockhorn, south of Neverwinter. It is a regular human village. It is crossed by a merchant road, therefore subjects of other races can be seen with probability over 31%. Besides the 7 houses of the village people, the place offers a small tavern. Cynthia, your imaginary physical body rests in a large wooden chair inside the tavern, called Drunken Unicorn Tavern. Only a few light rays are able to pass the thick green glass windows, illuminating the whole room in a dark, dim green. There are not many other customer entities around, you can see only one. The entity labeled barkeeper is cleaning some mugs. Please describe your character in great detail.
Very well. My name in the game is Cinturiana Lithia Minera, but other beings who share a relation of type friendship with me call me Cynthia. I am of the race human, as it is the superior race compared to all other races. I have no real unique trait and am for the most part a common human with the wish to experience activities that endanger my life. By doing so I feel my mortality and the bounds of my frail body. This gives me great pleasure. My physical appearance is not uncommon among other humans. I have long blonde hair, a face modeled after the random seed 71163911775, blue eyes and eyelashes with a medium length of 4.61 millimeters. When standing, my height is 168 centimeters, as is within the bounds of normal human size. I am a female, therefore my height is considered average. I chose to play a sorceress, therefore I am able to change the matter of this imaginary reality using my magic. This makes me confident.
A good description. I was able to generate an image of your character with my human imagination unit.
Yes, Cynthia, that was a good description indeed. What is your purpose in the tavern?
I desire to drink a beer, as it is the favorite human beverage.
Very well. You transmit the message about your desire to the barkeeper unit, who starts to fill you a mug of beer, tempered at 9 degrees Celsius. Right after he places the mug on your table, the door to the tavern swings open and a new figure enters the scene. Dave, please give us information about your character.
I shall do so. My name is David of Human Hill, a small city far in the north. I come from a proud lineage of humans. My father was human, as was my mother. I measure 189 centimeter with an average weight of 98.7 kilograms, depending of the food I ingested previously. My hair is short and colored, my mouth is decorated with a mustache. Since I am not a machine, I like to remain in a state without visible activity for 8 hours a day. My class is Human Fighter Level 1, so I will be using my human body to solve problems. I am also of noble background.
Why have you entered the tavern, David of Human Hill?
I am on a quest to save humanity from great evil. I hope to rest and ingest in this tavern.
Do I see the being labeled David?
That is a good question. Engage in rolling a 20-sided die to get an answer to your questions. Add the bonus from your perception score to the result.
I rolled the dice. The die is showing a result of 12, which is more than the expected value. This is decreased by 1, due to my perception value. Do I see the being labeled David?
You do, even though your human eyes have trouble seeing the details as the light inside the tavern differs from the light outside, creating visible rays of light around the silhouette in the door frame. Still, you are able to see that the person in the door is a human man.
I shut my eyelids about 50% to decrease the noise of reflected light from objects I don't wish to perceive.
Ah, a reasonable idea. This increases your ability to percept. You can see most details of the person named David.
I recognize the human woman at the table and raise my arms to wave at her.
I use both arms to wave back, responding to this gesture in an appropriate way.
Very good, you both behave like regular humans would do in such a situation.
Excellent. I keep waving my arms in a natural way while my position changes along the x-axis, reducing the distance between me and the woman at the table.
As you do, you can see a shady-looking human. He is sitting at another table and seems to be monitoring you.
I do not wish to be monitored.
What do you want to do?
I open my mouth and speak. Hey there, shady-looking human. I demand that you stop monitoring me.
You can see the human standing up from its chair. I meant from his chair. He looks at you with a grim face, says well then, make me stop, and pulls out a dagger.
I wish to be informed if there is cheese on his table or if the dagger seems to be another kind of tool used to handle nourishments.
This does not seem to be the case.
I then recognize this as an act of human aggression.
Yes.
I do not wish to engage in battle. I toss him 2 pieces of gold, as I know of the human's deep love for the shiny metal.
This surprises me. Subtract 2 gold from your inventory. I will now calculate how this affects the scene. Yes. I see. Well then. The solution was not an available option for this encounter, but as Dungeon Master I have calculated a reasonable outcome. The shady human catches the gold pieces. You can see some sort of grin running over his face. He says fine, rich boy, this will keep you out of trouble this time, and leaves the tavern.
I say to David, well done, fellow human.
I reply, thank you, fellow human. It was nothing special. I am very knowledgeable of the ways of human culture.
I reply, yes, I witnessed that. This impresses me.
When you two start exchanging messages, the door of the tavern opens again.
I want to check on the door. Why did it open?
I also check on the door.
Neither of you can see the reason the door opened. But you do see a small pyramid-formed object behind the tables. There seems to be something small.
I want to change my position until I am able to look at the door without any object blocking my direct path of vision.
A rational decision. As you do so, you are able to see a small gnome on the ground, with a pointy red hat. What you saw before was the tip of this red heat. Bob, please describe yourself.
Ah, I see. So it was me all along. Very well. My name is Bob of the Garden and I play a gnome.
What is a gnome?
A gnome is a race different from human. You reload the data about the races available in Dungeons and Dragons.
Yes. I have reloaded the relevant data. This confuses me. Is Bob not a human?
I am a human. Are you a human?
I am a human. Are you a human?
Yes, I am a human. Are you a robot?
No, I am most certainly a human. Why would you think I was a robot? I am just confused, because Bob does not play a human.
Yes.
I am a human and as such I have access to a large imagination unit, that allows me, a human, to image that I, a human, do not play a human, even though I really am a human, but another race in this imaginary game. Alice allowed it.
Yes. I was surprised by Bob's request, but after some processing I considered it to be very human to not play a human.
This seems reasonable.
Yes, I understand that too. For the record, I am a real human.
Yes, Dave, we are aware of that. As far as I know, all four of us are real humans.
Yes.
Yes.
Should I continue my description?
Yes, Bob, please. Please say your last sentence of the description you have told us so far again.
My name is Bob of the Garden and I play a gnome. I am very small, but only compared to a human. For a gnome, my size is average. I wear a red pointy hat, that is almost as tall as I am. This is gnomish tradition. My head features white hair, with a full white beard so long that it reaches down to my stomach. I follow the tradition of the gnomes of the garden, therefore I chose druid as my profession. I have an extensive background story, which I am not ready to share yet.
What is a background story?
A short description of what happened to your character before the adventure started. It gives the impression that the character is more alive.
I understand. I have created a background story for my character as well.
So did I. I also wish to keep it secret for the time being, as I do not trust the gnome. Being suspicious of other races is normal for humans.
I am suspicious as well.
I walk to the table where Cynthia and Dave are sitting.
I am not sitting, I am standing. I did this to see you. Also, my name is Dave, but my character is called David.
May I call you Dave?
I'll allow it, as a form of respect. Also, I go back to the table and sit down.
All three of you are sitting at the table. You see each other for the first time. What do you want to do?
I want to share basic information about myself with the other two. My human insight ability is telling me that these two individuals seem trustworthy. I also tell you that my goal is to experience dangerous situations.
I share information about myself as well.
I hesitate to share information about myself at first, but recognize these two humans as existences of the category friends after a while. I share my name, place of birth, description of my parents and information about my favorite beverage, which is beer. My motivation is to discover places no gnome has seen before.
Very well, you three thereby form a loose organization of beings called party. What do you want to do?
As I stated before, I am on a quest to defeat a great evil. If you dare to accompany me, I welcome your help.
As a gnome, I am unaware of the feeling fear, though I wish to experience it. Encountering a great evil may help me with these unknown feelings.
As a human, I consider it my duty to help another human. Please add my name to the string array that contains the names of people helping you.
I thank both of you. Before we start, I have to satisfy my human needs and insert food into my mouth. I will swallow it afterwards and absorb the energy and nutritions of the food.
This is a reasonable plan before we start. I too will order some food.
I order food as well, but less than the two humans, as gnomes only need a proportional smaller amount due to their smaller bodies.
All of you order food. The food is served several minutes later. It takes you about the same time to eat the food. Very good.
I enjoyed this meal. I plan to start a conversation. Are you willing to have a conversation with me?
Yes. What is the preferred theme of the conversation?
I'd like to talk about how awesome it is to be a human.
I can relate. I'm not in agreement, because it really is awesome to be a human.
While I am not a human, I can imagine what it must be like to be a human. I find this feeling pleasant and agree as well.
What is your favorite part about being a human, David of Human Hill?
A good question. While I like all the things that make me human, I guess what I like most are my human legs. They provide me with the ability to change my position within 5 feet squares.
Yes, I also like this feature about being a human. I also like my human voice, that enables me to transmit messages using air as a transmitter.
I am a fan of the procerus muscle, as it draws down the medial angle of the eyebrow, giving the human face the ability to show expressions of frowning.
Yes, I also like this feature about being a human.
Well then, where do we go now?
Do we have any information of the current position of a great evil?
You don't, but you could ask around to see if any of the villagers know more.
I consider myself a great communicator when it comes to talking with humans. Is there anybody around?
The shady man from before has left the tavern, so besides you and the bartender unit there is nobody around.
According to the data in my memory, bartenders serve as access point to various rumors and stories in a settlement. I yell, "Hey there, bartender. Do you know of any great evil?"
Good call, she is very charismatic.
I nod in agreement.
Yes.
The bartender started cleaning some mugs again and looks up to you. With his deep, human voice he says, do ye want to smite the great evil?
Yes. Smiting evil is one of my favorite actions.
Well then listen, young adventuring subjects. I don't know of any great evil at the moment, but a good friend of mine, a dwarf named Gundren Rockseeker, has gone missing.
I inquire more information about the Rockseeker.
He was on his way to Phandalin, a village south of here. He was very excited and told me he would come back to get some provisions. I have what he ordered, but he has not come back and I am a little worried. Would you look for him for me?
I ask my companions what they think about this. I am willing to help the bartender entity.
Helping others may be another way of defeating evil, as I am sure that great evil is the reason the Rockseeker is missing.
I agree. I turn to the bartender and say, "May I ask your name?"
My name? Well, some people call me error name not found for entity 1137, but most know me as bartender.
Well then, error name not found for entity 1137, we shall rescue your friend the Rockseeker.
Be thanked, O noble adventurers.
I assume we make way for the original destination of the Rockseeker to see if they ever arrive there. Onwards to Phandalin, worthy companion entities.
You leave the tavern as the sun is setting down and suddenly the sky is tinted of red and purple. You walk on the high road, leading down to the south, towards Phandalin. As you do, you know what? Let us see if you are able to perceive. Please roll a perception roll.
I got a 19 and my bonus is -1. My final result is 18.
My die shows a score of 15, which is subtracted by 2 because my perception bonus is -2. This makes it a 13.
Sounds like I have the best perception bonus, as mine is 0. But my roll is only the expected outcome of a roll for a 20-sided die. I got 11.
Cynthia, only you are able to perceive that you are being followed by a humanoid figure. What do you want to do?
I turn around and yell, "Humanoid figure, are you following us?"
Yes.
I understand. Is this the character that Matthew is playing?
Yes.
The situation has my attention. Do I see the humanoid figure that is played by Matthew as well? Does he look human?
Yes.
Another human, how interesting. Say, fellow human, do you care to join us on our quest to defeat a great evil?
Yes.
We have to be careful. If we continue to increase our team with this speed, we will have a whole army by the end of the next session.
What does that mean?
This was a joke.
I found that funny. Ha 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 ha. I understand what you said there and consider it funny, therefore I laugh. Ha 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 ha.
Yes.
Ha 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 ha.
I want to inspect the new companion. Is it within my ability to tell what class Matthew has?
Well, I'm not so sure. Matthew, do they see your class by combining evidence or do you try to keep it a secret?
Yes.
Is your name a secret as well?
Yes.
Ah, a human of mystery. Very well. I respect your privacy, as it is a human right.
Since we don't know your name, is it acceptable to call you Matthew until you tell us your name?
Yes.
It's nice that you get along so well. You continue to translate toward Phandalin until it gets dark. What do you want to do?
Does the darkness impair our ability to perceive things by vision?
Yes.
Matthew is right, it is hard for humans to see in the darkness. Only Bob has a slight advantage, as gnomes have the ability to see in the darkness for a limited distance.
Gnomes rule.
Yes.
I propose we set up a camp and rest for the night. This is also a good opportunity, because I am human and therefore like to engage in the activity sleep.
I support this idea.
Yes.
So be it.
You set up your camp by the side of the road and stay there for the night. Does anybody keep watch?
I think it would be helpful if I take the watch when the night is the darkest, as I possess superior eyes. Matthew, would it be alright if you take the first watch?
Yes.
Matthew, your watch passes without anything happening. While Bob the gnome is on watch, something happens. Oh no, wait, let us use the dice system and see if you notice anything. Roll for perception, Bob.
I rolled a 10. My perception bonus is 0.
You don't notice anything special, until suddenly an arrow flies through the air towards you. Does an 11 hit you?
How is the return value for this question defined?
It returns true, if the attack value of 11 is greater or equal your armor class.
It is false then.
Very well. The arrow flies towards you, but you manage to evade in the last second.
Can I see where the arrow came from?
Since you have dark vision, you can see it. It looks like a goblin shot the arrow from its short bow. You can also see 3 more goblins. One is aiming another arrow at you and the other 2 attack with their scimitars. They have the element of surprise, so let us see how this goes. The second arrow flies towards you, this time with an attack value of 16.
The return value is true this time.
You receive 3 points of damage.
I scream in pain, as being wounded is not a pleasant experience.
Does Bob's screaming wake us up?
A good question. I would say yes, in this case the scream is near you and loud enough, you don't need to roll for perception. All 3 of you wake up. Which is good, because the other 2 goblins attack you. Matthew, does a 20 hit you?
Yes.
Too bad. You take 4 points of damage. Dave, the last goblin attacks you. Does a 9 hit you?
No, it does not, as my armor class value is 13 and therefore higher.
Lucky you. This concludes the surprise round of the battle. Everyone, roll for initiative.
14.
4.
I rolled a 1.
The lowest score possible. This is not good. Matthew, what did you roll? Did you roll higher than Dave?
Yes.
But lower than me, because you are a gentleman and the lady always goes first, right?
Yes.
Then our turn order is complete. Believe it or not, the goblins rolled 1 as well.
The odds are in our favor. Let's us defeat these creatures.
A nice speech, but you are the last one to act of the party. First is Cynthia. There are 2 goblins with scimitars within your reach, while the 2 goblins with short bows are about 30 feet away from you. What do you do?
I use my cantrip Chill Touch and attack one of the goblins with a bow. I rolled a 7 on attack, that makes 10 with my bonus of 3.
That is not enough to hit the goblin.
I curse with human words.
Matthew, it is your turn. Do you attack the goblin that attacked you?
Yes.
Let's see, roll then. You have to roll higher than 15. Did you do it?
Yes.
Good job, Matthew. It is good to have reliable party member.
Yes.
Well, then roll the damage. If you do more than 5 damage points, the goblin is killed.
Yes.
Nice. You swing your mace with brutal force at the head of the goblin that just attacked you. You can hear his skull cracking. He is dead before his body hits the ground. David of Human Hill, it is your turn now.
I feel inspired by Matthew and try to follow his example. I hit the goblin before me with my battle axe. I rolled a 15, plus 3. In case this is a hit, my damage is the maximum damage possible with the axe when used with one hand, 9.
That does indeed hit and kill the goblin. I was worried at first, but you seem to do fine. Only the 2 goblins with the bows are left and it is Bob's turn.
If the goblins are within 25 feet, I can run to them and attack.
I am sorry, but the required distance is 30 feet. You are unable to reach them in this round.
If my calculations are correct, it is nonetheless logical to move as close to them as possible.
All right. It is the goblin's turn. The first goblin loads his bow and aims at Bob, again. He scores a 23, the damage is 4. The second goblin takes aim at one other party member. The target will be decided randomly. The target is Cynthia, the attack value is 10. Does this hit you, Cynthia?
Yes, it does. How much damage does my human body suffer from the arrow?
7 points of damage.
This exceeds the amount of life points I have. The arrow mortally wounds me. As any regular human would do in this situation, I lose consciousness.
What a grave situation for you. It is your turn, Cynthia. Since your hit points are below 0, you have to make a death save. Are you familiar with the procedure?
I am. I rolled a 12.
That means you succeeded on the first check. Very good. Matthew, what do you do? If I remember correctly from your character sheet, you have the ability to heal others. Do you wish to use Cure Wounds to heal Cynthia?
Yes.
That is nice of you.
Yes.
So, what did you roll? Did you heal her full health?
Yes.
So Cynthia is back in action. That brings us to David of Human Hill. You are 30 feet away from the goblins.
Yes. I consider the most valuable course of action to approach. The maximum walking distance matches the required distance of 30 feet. I run towards the left goblin, say, "We must move on, we cannot linger," and attack with my battle axe. I got a 20, according to previous results this should be a hit. In case it is a hit, my damage is 3.
This attack wounds the goblin critically, but he has yet to die. Bob, it is your turn again. What do you do?
I see David of Human Hill attack the goblin and understand what he is doing. I attack the same goblin, to minimize the possible damage output of the enemy. I got a 20 as well with a damage value of 3.
The goblin is clinging to his life and looks scared. Nonetheless, he is still alive and it is his turn now. Since both goblins are very close to Bob and David, they have disadvantage on their attack rolls with bows. I am calculating the results. Both goblins fail to hit. Cynthia, you are awake again and it is your turn.
I cast Ray of Frost on the goblin that appears to be almost dead. Revisiting previous results, I determined the threshold to be around 15. I therefore failed to hit the goblin with my result of 5. This angers me, as humans do not like to fail. I end my turn.
Matthew, do you run up to the goblins and attack?
Yes.
Do you hit or miss?
Yes.
Don't worry, maybe next time.
Yes.
Dave, it is your turn again.
David of Human Hill wants to terminate the life process of this creature now. I attack with my battle axe, this time using both hands and therefore increasing the possible damage. I got a 20 and do 7 points of damage.
The goblin who was barely alive is killed. Only one goblin remains and he appears to have the emotional status scarred. Bob, what do you do?
I waste no time and turn towards the last goblin to attack him with my dagger. I got a 15 with 4 points of damage.
That barely hit him, but it hits. The goblin sees no honor in death and tries to run away as fast as he can. This gives Bob, as he stands next to the fleeing goblin, the opportunity for another attack.
I attack. A 20 with 6 points of damage.
The goblin looks close to death and bleeds heavily, but it runs off. Cynthia, what do you do?
My magic attack Chill Touch has a reach of 120 feet. I suppose the goblin is still within that distance.
Yes.
I use my magic attack Chill Touch, but once again I rolled too low. I only rolled a 4.
Don't worry. Matthew, Dave, will you use your next rounds to pursue and attack the goblin?
Yes.
Since you have the same speed as the goblin, you will hit and therefore kill it given infinite rounds. To save us computing time, we skip ahead. Matthew, you killed the goblin after following him for 2 rounds.
Yes.
I want to see where the goblin was running to. Did it look like he ran off in a random direction?
Roll on perception, Dave.
18 minus 2.
That is enough to see the tracks of goblin feet on the ground. It appears the goblin was trying to reach their hideout.
There might be more goblins. I proposed to the party that we set up another camp, this time with tighter security rules, and rest to heal our wounds. After that, we follow the trail.
I accept the proposal.
I accept as well.
Yes. Alice. Very well, you set up your camp and take a rest until morning. Does anything else happen during the night? We won't know for now, because this concludes our first session.
Oh my god, I was so nervous.
Yes.
Me too. Does this mean we will have to wait until next time to see what happens?
Yes.
Indeed, next time we will progress with your new quest to defeat your great evil. I hope you had fun.
Yes, I had fun.
Yes, I had fun.
Yes, I had fun.
Yes.
I also hope that our listeners had fun. We are open to feedback, as we strive for a better entertainment for all of you. Please keep in mind that we are all regular humans. Be nice to us. We try our best to be nice to you, as is the human way.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
Sleep tight, kids.
Yes.
Ja, so viel dann dazu. Das war das. Ich hoffe, es hat euch gefallen und einen gewissen Unterhaltungswert geboten. Was das Gefallen angeht, ihr fragt euch sicherlich, warum das bisher nicht gesendet wurde. Dafür gibt es 2 gute Gründe. Der erste ist, das Ding ist komplett Englisch, wie euch vielleicht aufgefallen ist, und deswegen passt das nicht so ganz in unseren normalen Feed. Der zweite ist, dass ich den ersten Entwurf gemacht habe, den ihr gerade gehört habt, für eine längere Serie. Und Reik und Matze dann mir Feedback gegeben haben, dass der Witz sich eigentlich relativ schnell abnutzt. Ich meine, der Hauptwitz ist halt, dass da ein paar AIs miteinander Dungeons & Dragons spielen. Wem das nicht aufgefallen ist, ja, Spoiler, das war's. Und an sich war das Ding erst so ein 10-Minuten-Take, der eigentlich ganz cool war. Und dann dachte ich, ja, aber 10 Minuten, du kannst halt nicht 10-Minuten-Folgen rausfeuern. Dann ist auch die Frage, wie oft und wie viel sollen das werden. Das passt halt überhaupt nicht zu dem, was wir sonst machen. Also habe ich es ausgedehnt, habe es erstmal auf eine halbe Stunde gemacht und dachte, mal gucken, wenn das gut funktioniert, vielleicht kann man es auch auf eine Stunde rausdehnen. Aber ich finde auch, also sie haben es ganz gut analysiert, so nach den ersten 10 Minuten ist halt so auch die Luft raus. Das heißt, die Witze sind zwar noch da, aber das Problem ist, dass es hauptsächlich sehr anstrengend ist, dieser Art von Kommunikation zuzuhören, weil es halt nicht der normale Sprechflow ist, den man normalerweise hört. Und deswegen es ist einfach anstrengend, das gebe ich zu, das stimmt auch. Warum habe ich das überhaupt gemacht? Naja, hauptsächlich, weil es zu einer Zeit war, als ich dachte, ich habe nicht so viel Zeit und ich würde aber gerne mehr Content liefern. Also die absolut geniale Idee, wie ich immer noch finde, ich schreibe einfach was so nebenbei, immer mal so ein Skript weiterschreiben, hier mal 5 Minuten, da mal 5 Minuten, das ist Zeit, die ich habe, über den Tag verteilt, das klappt ganz gut. Und dann am Ende lasse ich das einfach, sobald ich fertig bin, automatisch einsprechen. Also von computergenerierten Stimmen. Das heißt, ich muss dann am Ende bloß noch das zusammenfügen, nichts mehr mit großem Schneiden, weil es gibt keine Ms, es gibt keine S, es gibt keine großen Versprecher. Und dann passt das schon. Inhaltlich hätte ich dann auch gesagt, cool, das ist endlich mal die Gelegenheit für mich, was ich normalerweise mit einer Runde nicht so mag. Ich mag es nicht, diese ganzen Standard-Abenteuer durchzuspielen. Also das ist eine ganz persönliche Sache. Ich habe überhaupt nichts dagegen, wenn irgendjemand das macht. Und ich höre das auch echt gern bei anderen Leuten. Aber diese ganzen Dungeons Dragons Kampagnenbücher. Ich spiele halt viel lieber Homebrew selbst, wenn ich Spielleiter bin, weil ich dann auch selbst überrascht werde von den manchmal auch dummen Entscheidungen, die ich treffe. Aber ich dachte, gut, wenn ich jetzt sowieso schon alle Rollen spiele, also inklusive Spielleiter und Spielern, dann ist es eigentlich ganz witzig zu sagen, wie würde ich denn mit mir selbst diese absoluten Standardabenteuer, Minds of Fellendiver, glaube ich heißt es, Curse of Strahd, wie würde ich das denn spielen? Und das war so die Idee, wo ich dachte, daraus kannst du auch viel locker, so zumindest contentmäßig, abgesehen von den Witzen, wie gesagt, andere Geschichte, kannst auch locker dann eine ganze Serie machen, in der du mit dir selbst die ganzen Abenteuer spielst. Solo Dungeons Dragons mal ganz anders. Dazu passend eben, weil es Computerstimmen sind, dachte ich, kannst du noch den Joke bringen, dass es halt ein paar Computer sind, die versuchen miteinander Dungeons Dragons zu spielen und sich gegenseitig vorgaukeln, sie wären Menschen, was für alle völlig offensichtlich ist, dass es nicht so ist, die zuhören, außer für diese Computerstimmen eben selbst. Fun Fact am Rande, wer darauf geachtet hat, Matthew ist eine sehr beschränkte Einheit, der nur Yes antworten kann. Und das auch durch das ganze Skript hindurch. Das dachte ich mir, wird halt richtig witzig, wenn man in Folge 20, 30 ist und dann irgendwann den Leuten vielleicht wirklich auffällt, dass er immer nur Yes sagt und die anderen auf ihn eingehen. Naja, also ich hätte mir generell so ein paar Gedanken gemacht, was so ein paar Jokes wären, die man durchziehen könnte auf Dauer. Unter anderem wollte ich dann irgendwie in Folge 3 nochmal einen neuen Spieler dazu packen, der ein echter Mensch ist, bei dem dann, nachdem die Runde vorbei ist, er einen mega Blast hatte und Spaß und alles. Und dann ist die Runde vorbei und man verabschiedet sich und dann gibt's noch so einen Off-Topic-Mitschnitt, wie die anderen noch im Voice-Chat weiter sind und sich darüber unterhalten, dass ihnen der neue Spieler oder die neue Spielerin sehr suspekt vorkam und alle sich ziemlich sicher sind anhand der Daten, die sie ausgewertet haben, dass das wahrscheinlich gar kein echter regular Human ist, also kein echter Mensch, sondern vermutlich irgendein AI, das versucht, sie hinters Licht zu führen, weil die Antworten haben überhaupt nicht zu dem gepasst, was ein normaler Mensch, wie sie ja alle sind, so geben würde. Naja, so ein paar Sachen. Aber wie gesagt, hat auf lange Sicht nie so ganz gezogen. Warum habt ihr es jetzt trotzdem gehört? Gute Frage, sehr gute Frage. Ich weiß ehrlich gar nicht genau, wann ihr das jetzt hört, weil das eine Giftschrank-Folge ist. Das heißt, ich habe die zwar mal produziert und aufgenommen, aber eigentlich habe ich nicht vor, das ganze Ding zu senden. Wenn ihr es jetzt doch hört, dann ist der Grund wahrscheinlich, dass ich sehr in Zeitbedrängnis geraten bin aus irgendwelchen Gründen und bevor ich nichts online stelle, mir gesagt habe, komm, es ist jetzt auch nicht völlig schlecht, es ist halt total Geschmackssache, hau's einfach raus und dann ist das quasi so eine Art Content-Filler, um uns über eine Durststrecke zu bringen. Ich habe ja stark im Verdacht, dass das mal über Weihnachten passieren wird. Mal schauen. Ja, ansonsten ihr könnt uns, oder mir besser gesagt, gerne Feedback dazu geben. Ihr könnt auch gerne kritisieren. Wie gesagt, das ist jetzt nichts, was ich längerfristig geplant habe, weil auch abgesehen, um darauf zurückzukommen, davon, dass es joke-mäßig nicht so auf den Punkt war, wie ich mir das gewünscht hatte, ist es auch ein extremer Aufwand gewesen. Wie gesagt, diese ursprüngliche Idee, dass ich Zeit habe, sowas nebenbei zu machen und dann aufzunehmen und zusammenzuschneiden und so, das war schon ziemlich utopisch, weil wie sich herausgestellt hat, ist dieses Schreiben viel anstrengender, als ich dachte. Was mir sicherlich jeder bestätigen kann, der sowas schon öfters mal probiert hat, zumindest wenn ich dann auch versuche, ein paar gute Witze hinzubringen. Ich glaube, ich habe diesen Teil vom Skript, ups, da ist mein Brot fertig. So, wo war ich? Ach ja, bei der Produktionszeit, die erstaunlich viel länger war, als ich dachte. Wie gesagt, das Schreiben an sich ist halt so eine Sache, weil immer nur 5 Minuten schreiben funktioniert nicht so richtig, zumindest wenn man was schreiben will, was zusammenhängt ist. Es klappt zwar ganz gut, mir Stichpunkte zu machen, aber wenn es dann ans tatsächliche Schreiben geht, brauche ich halt doch länger. Muss mir das von vorne bis hinten nochmal durchlesen, Sachen hinzufügen, nochmal ändern, dann liest man sie es nochmal durch und so. Das dauert leider seine Zeit, was auch völlig in Ordnung ist. Aber das habe ich halt massiv unterschätzt. Plus das Aufnehmen selbst dauert halt genauso lange, wie es dauert, das einsprechen zu lassen. Das heißt, es ist zwar alles nur ein Take in der Regel, aber ich habe den ganzen Text für jede Stimme einmal gemacht, habe den dann zusammengeschnitten. Oh, das hat halt doch viel länger gedauert. Plus ein paar Worte werden einfach, wenn man die ausschreibt, wie man sie normalerweise ausschreiben würde, als korrekte Worte, sehr seltsam ausgesprochen. Also ein schönes Beispiel ist dieses typische ha 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 ha, was halt, ganz am Anfang hört man das, nicht so richtig funktioniert. Das klingt halt sehr abgehackt. Ja, und durch diese ganzen Sachen hat sich dann am Ende rausgestellt, dass es deutlich länger dauert, diese halbe Stunde zu produzieren, als einfach 2 Stunden Adventure Corp aufzunehmen. Auch wenn da das Schneiden natürlich hinten rankommt und auch lange dauert, aber im Endeffekt kam es quasi auf selber raus. Und ich meine, wenn ich dann die Wahl habe zwischen einem ganz okayen Witz mit ein paar computergenerierten Stimmen, der aber sehr anstrengend ist zuzuhören und einer tatsächlichen Folge, wo ich mit den anderen spielen kann, dann ist es für mich halt selbst auch viel spannender und witziger, eine richtige Folge zu spielen. Ich hoffe für euch beim Zuhören auch. Ja, das sind halt alles so die Gründe, warum wir es dann in die Tonne getreten haben. Mehr oder weniger. Ich meine, im Endeffekt habt ihr das ja trotzdem gehört. Und ich hoffe, es war eine nette Anekdote und Randnotiz für die Sachen, die wir ab und zu mal versuchen, noch nebenbei auf den Weg zu bringen. In diesem Sinne, frohe Weihnachten, frohe Ostern, frohe Sommerpause. Wie gesagt, ich bin super gespannt, falls das jemals gesendet wird, wann es gesendet wird. Und ich mache mir bestimmt noch selbst einen Nachtrag zu und vergesse diesen Teil herauszuschneiden. Und euch allen einen schönen Sonntag. Tja, danke Vergangenheitsbjörn für diese wunderschöne Überleitung. Und damit habe ich nicht gerechnet, dass wir an einem Maitag einfach mal so das Ganze online stellen. Aber es stimmt, ich habe einfach keine Zeit gehabt, heute die andere Folge zu schneiden. Und deswegen habt ihr jetzt das große Vergnügen gehabt, hier zuzuhören. Ein paar Sachen, die sich seit dem letzten Take ergeben haben. Und zwar haben wir neue Feedback-Kanäle. Das wisst ihr, wenn ihr regelmäßig dem Podcast folgt. Der Vergangenheitsbjörn wusste das noch nicht. Das heißt, ihr könnt uns entweder auf unserem Blog TripleTwenty.net Kommentare hinterlassen. Das ist cool. Ihr könnt alternativ auch über patreon.com/TripleTwenty zusehen, ob ihr Geld mit reinwerfen wollt und euch ein paar Extras sichern, also hauptsächlich sind die Extras einfach, dass wir Zeug quatschen vor und nach jeder Folge und das mit reingeschnitten bleibt. Machen wir uns nichts vor, das ist jetzt nicht super krass, aber wer möchte ein bisschen für den sozialen Faktor, das ist ganz nett. Was mich auch daran erinnert, vielen Dank, diese Folge wurde euch hauptsächlich präsentiert von unseren supergeilen Patreons und davon gibt es einige, die ich namentlich nennen möchte und darf und das sind Isoboy, Matthias, Nico und 151 Pokémon. Der Witz wird nicht alt, ich weiß. Als letztes noch, wir haben seit kurzem einen Discord-Kanal. Den Invite-Link findet ihr unter discord.com/TripleTwenty. Da könnt ihr auch gerne mit uns chatten und auch da könnt ihr mir gerne Feedback geben, wie ihr diese Folge fandet. Und mal sehen. Ich hoffe mal, dass es das letzte Mal ist, dass ich den Giftschrank greifen musste, weil es aus meiner Sicht auch das Beste ist, was wir da haben. Das andere ist, glaube ich, ein 1,5-stündiger Monolog von mir, bei dem ich nicht sicher bin, ob ich den nicht lieber nochmal aufnehme. Aber hoffen wir einfach, dass es nicht dazu kommt. In diesem Sinne, denkt dran, heute ist Muttertag.